Okay, welcome back everybody. So this is video 8 of phase 2 of personal relationship as a service. This is module 4. Module 4 is birthday promotions. For this module, we're going to again be using the PHP GD graphics library, and I'm also going to be using the GIFEncoder PHP class. This here is the structure of this next module. Part 1 is going to be birthday batch processing. So this will create all of the marketable assets that we're actually going to need for the container module, which is part 2 of the video. The container module, that's going to follow the same template that we've used for all of the previous modules with just some minor changes. The final part of this video for this module is going to be a promotion landing page. So this is a page which will contain further creative marketable assets that we will link to from the retail sales e-zine. Okay. So, moving on, we're going to start with birthday batch processing to create those marketable assets. And this is going to break down into the following. So we're going to create the promotions table within the task database. We need the promotions table in order to feed back into the main processing script for PHP that we're going to use. We are going to identify accounts with next day birthdays. So these are birthdays that are going to happen tomorrow. We're going to identify those within the PHP script because those are the people that we're going to be targeting with this particular container. We're going to use the PHP GD library to generate those creative assets. So this is stuff you've already learnt in previous videos. And we're also going to use a new GIFEncoder class, and this is going to bring animation to the e-zine's creative assets. Okay, so let's now, first of all, let's take a look at the changes I've made to the task database. Okay, so I've added a new table. That's this table here. This is promotions, and I'm just going to quickly take you through all of the different fields and the reasons for why they're there. So obviously we have got the account number, we have got the promotion, which will include or is therefore identifying the promotion type, and in this instance the type is going to be birthday. We have a promotion code, which is very important to use for back-end processing for point of sale. We've got the discount value. We have the expiry date of the promotion. We've got the issue date of the promotion, which is the date that the promotion started or was originally created as a creative asset. We've got a redeemed volume just to indicate whether or not that the promotion or the voucher has actually been redeemed. We've got a redeemed date. We've got voucher emailed column to show if you've actually emailed the promotional voucher to the customer. And we've got the usual epoch column, which contains the timestamp at which the record was created. Now again, we are continuing to use George Bailey as the subject for this exercise. The first thing I'm going to do, this is test information, and the first that I've used previously, so I'm going to clear these down and completely empty this table. Okay. And now I think it's probably useful is to take a look at the changes I've made to the retail sales e-zine, and then we'll follow a process of reverse engineering this, and so I can actually explain how I've achieved it. So here we've got the email. that has actually been emailed to me, and you can see that we've added a section, Happy Birthday George. Celebrate with up to £75 off men's fashions. Now you know that previously I've spoken about how we're going to use the GIFEncoder class, and this is where that comes in, because as you can see we've got a flashing £75 value here, and that was created using that PHP GIFEncoder. Okay, so the rest of the easy, and I'll just quickly sort of go through it, remains exactly as we've previously seen. One thing I'm going to say at this point, I mean, obviously this easy is being filled up with every single module that I am creating, and obviously it wouldn't be the case that you would necessarily do that. It might be the case that the Man About Brighton, the locality based module, we're not using this particular month, maybe. It won't be your birthday, it's only going to be your birthday once a year as a customer, but obviously I'm just adding module by module to this e-zine as we're going along. So let's now take a look at how we've actually started to create these assets. Okay, so I've created a new PHP file, birthday batch processing.php, and what this file will do, it will generate all of the marketable assets that we need for the birthday promotion. Now before I go into detail in the coding for this file, I think at first I'm just gonna take you in to show you what happens when we actually run this and what those marketable, those creative assets actually are. So here we are, we're on the task management screen, and you can see I've added a button at the bottom, birthday voucher processing. So I'm gonna run that file. There you go. So we can see from the output that the file has now run, and what this has done is done a number of things. The first thing it's done is it's created the marketable assets in terms of the creative elements. So those are the JPGs, those are the GIF files that we'll see for the promotion. The other thing that it's done, it's written to the database into that promotions table I showed you earlier. So first of all, let's take a look at all of the creative assets that we've now got. Here we go. So if I go into directory structure, which you're now used to, now I've set up a new folder here, birthday promo, which is here. Okay, and these three files that we can see are templates, and these are templates that are going to make up that animated GIF for the e-zine, and it's also the base artwork that we're going to use for the voucher, for the men's fashions that George is going to get. So if we take a look first of all at these two GIF files, or the PNG files, which will become the animated GIF, this is number one, and as you can see the £75 just has an orange key line around it at the moment, and it is not personalized with a name. The second one, again, is not personalized with a name, but this time the £75 here is orange. So what we're going to do with this, we're going to overlay George's name, which is something you've already learned to do from the Man About Brighton module that we looked at previously. And we're then going to combine these slides into a GIF file using the GIFEncoder. Now the other artwork that we have is the one for the actual voucher, which will be used. This is George's birthday gift, and it's up to £75. So it's up to £75 off men's fashion. It's essentially 4 vouchers in one. So you've got £10 off when you spend £50 on men's fashion. You get £15 off when you spend £75, £20 off when you spend £100, and £30 off when you spend £150. There are spaces on this voucher, as you see here. There are promotion codes needed for each of the 4 different spend levels, and down here we have a space for the customer account number, and at the base here we've got valid until dates for the voucher. So that's where we will show the expiry date for the promotion. Now this again is going to go through PHP GD library, which you already know about, and we're going to overlay text onto this base artwork for George. So now we've already just run that batch processing file, and we've actually achieved what we wanted to. So in temp merge, what we did in temp merge, we have created two new variants of the base of the what would be the slides for the GIF file. This time we've added the name George to them. So this one here, there you go. So it's the key line £75 with Happy Birthday George, and this one here, this is Happy Birthday George with the orange £75. So we've got the two slides are now ready to be merged together to create the GIF file. So if I go back here, birthday promo, and if we now go into the merge folder, this here is where we have got the animated GIF. So at this point, those two slides have been turned into the GIF file using the GIFeNcoder. I'm just going to open it in Internet Explorer so you can see. There you go. It's flashing. It works. Excellent. And this here is the personalized voucher. So this has been personalized with all of the information for George. So if we take a quick look, let me just bring that up to 100%, I think. There you go. So what we've now got, save up to £75 on men's fashions. We've now got a promotion code. We've got one here, we've got one here, we've got one here, and we've got one here, each for the different spend levels, and each of the codes are unique. They're not the same codes. They're 4 different codes which are going to be used for the electronic point of sale system when people buy online. If we scroll down, we can see here we've now added George's account number, which is 45112309. That's on each of these 4 sections, and we've also got a valid until date, and it's valid until the 11th of the 9th 2015. George has got 60 days to use all of these vouchers. Very generous, if I say so myself. Okay, so let's now talk about the code, and let's talk about how we've achieved it, some of which you will already know from the previous module. So here we are, we're back in birthday batch processing.php. Let's talk first of all about the information that we need for the voucher. So what are we putting on that voucher? We're putting on there, first of all, we've got the base image, which I showed you, which doesn't have any information on it at all, any customized information for George. We've got the account number that we need, we've got the expiry date that we need, we've got the 4 promotional codes, 4 unique promotional codes that we need. So all of that information is sitting here within the function create local image. All of this will be familiar to you. This is what we did in the previous module. It's slightly more complicated. We're using different colors here, and we're using the colors. If I go back to the image, I'm going to show you the different colors that we're using. So the promo code itself has got 4 different colors. So the text color here is taken from this color here, which comes from the carpet. So I've tried to sort of ensure that there's stylistically we've got a continuation of the style throughout the voucher. Here you've got this grey color, this mushroom color, which comes from the paving slabs here. That's the promotional code color there. Here we've got a black one, which is the base of that image. Here we've got another blue one, a lighter blue one to this one over here, and that's the one that we use for that code. So that's 4 colors we're going to be using. on the PHP GD function. And then the other color that we're using down here is that for the valid until, that's red. As you can see here, the actual date of the voucher is in red. So there are more colors than we've used previously when we've used a PHP GD library function. So let's go back to the code. So these are those colors. We've got a red here, we've got a black, and then we've got the 4 promotional code colors: color A, color B, color C, color D. The process by which we're overlaying this is exactly the same as we've previously done, so I'm not going to go through this in too much detail, other than to give you a slight overview. So here we've got 4 lines which are overlaying the promotional codes here, and as you can see, the text they're actually overlaying is promo A, promo B, promo C, promo D, which we've already passed through when we called the function. Here we've got the account number. The account number appears 4 times on each 4 instances of the voucher. So that's 4 sections of that voucher with the different spend levels. They're still carrying the same account, as we can see here. We do it 4 times, of course, because there's 4 different positions on the artwork. And then we've got, similarly, we've got 4 instances of the expiration date. Again, you can see the colors. You've got color A, color B, color C, color D for the promotions. We've got black. It's all black for the account number, and it's all red for the 4 instances of the expiration. So let's now go and look about how we've gathered that information to pass through to this function. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to work out tomorrow's birthday. So here we've got date time equals new date time tomorrow. So that will actually give us tomorrow's date within the variable date time. We've then got a new variable beneath that here, birthday, equals date time format, month and day. Very importantly, the year is a wildcard, because obviously we don't recognize the birthdays by year. We were going to recognize them by the day and the month, because we want to get it tomorrow. So if you were born, in the 27th of March 1970 is irrelevant. What we're interested in knowing, is it the 27th of March? Because if tomorrow is the 27th of March, it's going to be your birthday. So the year is going to be a wildcard. We don't need that when we're actually trying to select the correct records from the database. And now we're going to select it. So we've got select account number, first name and gender from the master account table, where DOB, like birthday, so where it's like the wildcard followed by the month and the day from the date time variable we've generated up here. And mailable equals Y. One of the reasons I'm pulling the gender up, we're not going to talk gender specific today, but obviously this is relating to a men's fashions promotion. There will also be an exactly a similar promotion for women's fashions, for women's birthdays. That's why I've got gender there. I'm not going to tackle that in this video. We are going to return to that in phase 3, where I'm starting to wire all of these modules together for personal service as a relationship, but we don't need to look at that now. Okay, so now we're going to create an associative array of the data selection we just made, where mailable account I equals row account number, first name equals row first number, gender equals row gender. So we've now created the variable arrays with all that information in there. So now we want to get an expiry date. So the offer is for 60 days, so you have got 60 days to use all 4 spend levels of that voucher. So it's like 4 vouchers in one, essentially. So the easiest way to do that is to say, again, date time equals new date time tomorrow. So tomorrow is George's birthday. Date time modify plus 60 days. So that will actually add 60 days to the date time variable, and that will give us our expiry date. Now I'm going to format it. There's 2 different formats that we're using. In the database that we're writing to, we have to write in US format, because that's the standard date format for MySQL. So expiry SQL here, this variable is date time, which is the expiry date we just calculated. Format year, month, day. That's for the database, that's the US format. But when we actually print this onto the voucher or any customer facing material in the UK, we need to make sure that it's in the correct UK format. So we've got a new variable, expiry equals date time format, day, month, year. So we've got 2 versions of the same expiry date in 2 variables, because they're meeting 2 completely different needs. Now we need to generate the promotion codes that we're also going to use to overlay onto the voucher. So promo code 1 is equal to mailable account $I. Now the reason that I've got 4 instances is because we're doing 4 vouchers. It's not something that's particularly relevant at this point. It will become relevant when we go to phase 3 for personal relationship as a service. But the overriding principle is what we're going to use here to create the voucher. So we've got the account number, but concatenated with time, so that's with a Unix timestamp, concatenated with A. We follow the same for promo code 2. Again, the account number, it's George's account number again, concatenated with the timestamp, followed by B. We do the same for C, and we do the same for D. So we end up with 4 variables containing 4 promotional codes, and each one contains George's account number, concatenated with a timestamp, followed by A, B, C, or D. That's given us 4 unique codes that cannot be replicated by accident in the system. So that we can be assured that those promote codes are singular. They won't be replicated. Okay. Then what we need to do is, obviously we're going to pass through the pathway that the GD library function is going to save merged files to, final files to. So here we've got it here, birthday promo equals, and here's the pathway, so it's email/media/birthday promo/merge/mailable account George's account number .jpg. So that is the one that we're going to be using for the voucher. And now the next section we're going to check, does the voucher exist already? In which case, we don't want to do it twice. Otherwise we'll end up giving George 2 vouchers. He'll have, oh my goodness me, he'll have, what is that, £150 to spend instead of 75. I'm generous, but I'm not that generous. So here we go. If file exists, birthday promo, which is what we just worked out here. So this is the voucher pathway and file name. If that file exists, or if it doesn't exist, I should say, then we will continue. Otherwise, we won't generate the voucher again. Okay, and all of this is based on now this if statement here. If gender equals M. So obviously this will relate to the men's fashion voucher. There will be a similar if statement for if it equals F for female, and there will be a similar women's voucher for the final for the final version when we move to phase 3. So voucher equals email media birthday promo men's birthday.jpg. That is the voucher pathway. And now we've got all of the variables that we need to pass through to that function we've established. So we've got the voucher, which is the base template voucher without any of the customization here, which is the voucher variable email media birthday promo men's birthday.jpg. And if I just go back here into, I'll just show you, here it is. That's this one here, men's birthday.jpg. So that's the pathway that leads to that empty template. And it contains birthday promo. So birthday promo, that is going to be the final file name and final pathway of the finished customized voucher, and that's this one here. So that's email media birthday promo in the merged folder with mailable account.jpg. So in the file structure, that's, here you go, this is the merged folder, and within here what we've already shown you is the finished customized voucher, and there it is, it's George's account number.jpg. We've got George's account number there that we're passing through to the GD function. That obviously is going in there because that's printed 4 times on the voucher for each of the spend sections. We've got the expiry date, and that is the UK format expiry date in the variable $expiry, followed by the promo codes that I just showed you here, promo code 1, promo code 2, promo code 3, and promo code 4. So this calls the function, and if I just scroll up here, so this is the function that we went through a moment ago, and we are calling it with all of those variables that I just showed you. Okay, so that creates the voucher. Now the next thing that we need to do, now that we've created the voucher, we need to add to the database the promotions table that I showed you earlier. So we're going to insert into promotions account number, promotion, promotion code, discount expiry, the issue date, redeemed, date redeemed, and the epoch. Again, as best practice, I'm using a prepared statement. It's not really necessary for this, but as I say, it's best practice. If you get used to using prepared statements, then when you're inserting from customer originated information like an HTML form or whatever, where there is the possibility that they could attempt to do some kind of PHP injection, you just get, because you're in the habit of using prepared statements, it actually prevents them from being able to do that. So I always do a prepared statement using the MySQL extensions. Okay. And what we are going to be passing into that, into the promotions table, are the mailable account, so that's George's account number, the promotion name. Now the promotion name is birthday. Do you remember we have a promotion field for promotion type? So that's being passed through in a variable. The promo code there, and we generated, there were 4, don't forget there were 4 promo codes. The discount being applied, which is 10, 15, 20 and 30. The expiry SQL, now this is the US format expiry date rather than the UK format. The date time, so that's the date that it's been issued, which is today. Is it redeemed or not? At the moment, no, it's not. The redemption date, so that'll be the date in 60 days time, and the epoch, the timestamp of now. So if we now go into the database, because I've already run this script, as well as creating the marketable assets that I showed you earlier, we've also updated or inserted into the database. So I'm going to go back in to the database. I'm going to show you what we have. So this is it, promotions, the promotions table, and I'm going to browse. There you go. So we've got 4 entries because there's 4 different spend levels. Yeah, so essentially there's 4 different promotional vouchers within one. So they count as 4 separate records within the database. So here we can see we've got George's account number. Its promotion type is a birthday. The unique promotion codes that we generated and have printed onto the voucher are here, and in A, B, C, and D. The discount values we've got here, one was £10 off, then we've got £15 off, £20 off, and £30 off. The expiry date in the US format is here, so that is the 11th of the 9th, 2015. The issue date is today. Redeemed at the moment is unknown. That will be updated by the use of your online electronic point of sale system when you actually purchase online and use those vouchers. Similarly, the date redeemed information would be updated at that point also. Voucher emailed is blank. I will come on to that in a moment. And there we've got the epoch here. So that was the timestamp for the time that that record was created. And obviously because it's so fast, they've all got exactly the same timestamp. So what we've done is we've created the voucher, we've overlaid George's information for that voucher, which includes the unique promotion codes, it includes his account number, and it includes the valid and tell dates. And we've inserted the records into the promotions database for each of those 4 spend levels within that voucher. Okay, now the next thing we're going to look at is how we created the GIF animation for the retail sales e-zine. So that was the one that says that it's up to £75 off men's fashions. And there's a separate function that we're going to use for this. Okay, so let's talk through the process of what we need to do to create that GIF. So firstly, looking at the template artwork where we've got those 2 PNG files, birthday GIF 1.png, birthday GIF 2.png. I'm starting with PNG files because they will be of a higher quality than if I start with 2 GIF images. And so this one here, it's got the £75 with the keyline. It's missing George's name. And this one here is the one where we've got the orange £75. Again, it's missing George's name. So the first part of the process is going to be getting George's name and overlaying it using the GD library extensions onto both of these templates and saving them here in the temp merged file. So here we've got, there you go, Happy Birthday George, the keyline version, and Happy Birthday George, the coloured, the orange £75 version. So there we've got the 2 slides ready to create the GIF version, the animated version. Okay, so let's just quickly go back into birthday promo, and obviously in merged, that's where your GIF, once you've encoded those 2 base artworks, they are encoded into a GIF file. This is where they're saved. They're saved into the merged folder. Okay, so let's go back to the code and let's see how we're going to do that. So we've got a different function for the GD library. So what this function is going to do, it's going to do 2 things. Firstly, it's going to access and use the PHP GD library to overlay the name George onto both versions of that template artwork. And then once it's done that, and once we've got those 2 artworks with George's name on it, we're going to then use the GIFeNcoder class to put those together as 2 slides to create the animated GIF file. Now, to use the GIFEncoder class, you can see here I've included it. There you go. So that is to include the GIFEncoder.class.php. The class is publicly available for use free of charge, and I have added the address that you can actually get that class from below the video on YouTube. So let's go back here. So here we've got the function create birthday GIF. Here is the information we need to pass. We need the base PNG. So the base PNG, that will be the voucher artwork with the orange keyline. Then we will have the top PNG, that is the version with the orange £75 rather than the keyline. So those are the two base template artworks. Fname, so that's first name, which would be George, and then we are going to save two different images. So we're going to save merged base, so that's the base template with the £75 keyline but with George's name, and we're going to save to merge T, the version where we have the orange £75 with George's name overlaid in there. So let's talk about how we're going to do that. So you've already done this. You did this when we did the Man About Brighton, and we've just been through it again for the voucher part of this module. So it's exactly the same. So George's name, first of all, is orange. So in this instance, we've created an orange color. The font I've decided to use for George's name is impact.ttf. All of this, you will know, this is all about positioning and about font size. So it's font size 36. It's positioned across 12.96 pixels, 120 pixels down. It's in orange. It's using the impact font. And this here, I want George's name to be completely capitalized. So I'm using a string to upper $Fname. So that is for the base one with the orange keyline. We're doing exactly the same down here, and this is for the version where we have the orange £75, and that is how we are creating the slides. Now I'm just going to come back down and I'm just going to quickly run through how we've basically gathered all of the information to pass through to these variables. So let me just scroll down. Okay. Okay, so here we go. So this part of the code here is to create the birthday GIF file. So the base GIF template is this is the pathway. It's email media birthday promo birthday gift1.png. We have a top GIF template, email media birthday promo birthday gift2.png. So if I go back into the folder, I'll show you where these are. So that's these two files here. So that's birthdaygift1.png and birthdaygift2.png. So one is where the £75 is just an orange keyline, and two is the one where £75 is orange. Both of these are the templates without George's name customized. So now we want to get the pathways for the two customized versions of those templates with George's name on. So we've got merged base equals email media birthday promo temp merged mailable account, so that's George's account number underscore birthday underscore gif underscore 1.png. That's the file name. We do the same again for the second version of that templated artwork with the orange £75, and again it's mailable account, so that's George's account number underscore birthday underscore gif underscore 2 this time .png there. And if I come back here There you go. So here we've got the temp merge folder. The reason it's temp merged, these are temporary files. These are only needed until we've combined them both into GIF, when we'll output them to the merged folder. So this is the personalized version with George's name, £75 in the keyline. And this is the second version of slide 2 for the GIF file with George's name and with £75 coloured in orange. Okay, so the merged folder we've got here, where we are going to output the final encoded GIF file, contains the GIF file in there. So that is being passed, that pathway there. This is the final directory. It's going into email, media, birthday, promo, merged folder, .mailable account, .gif. So that's George's account number, .gif, and that is exactly what we've got in here. So it's 45112309.gif. So that's the finish merged encoded GIF file. So that's created all of the information that we need to pass through to that function. So there you go. So we pass it through here to create birthday GIF. We've got base GIF template variable. We've got the top GIF template variable. The first name variable, which we've already got earlier on. And we selected his first name. It was up here. Where is it? There it is. Where we selected the account number, first name and gender. So we've already got his first name within a variable array. The merged base pathway is here. The merged top, so those are the two variants of the templates. And the final directory where it's going to save it into that merged folder. So we've got all of the information which we've now passed through to this function. Let me go back to the function. Here it is. Here. So we've created those two different artworks. Now what we need to do is we need to encode them into the GIF file. And we're going to do that here. So I'm just going to walk through. It's actually quite simple how this is done. We're going to use, because we're using that free class. The PHP class that does most of the heavy lifting for us, and we only need to reference it. And as I said, that's a free class that's freely available. So first of all, we flush the buffers using OB start to make sure that we've saved everything that we need, so that all of those template files that have been customized with George's name are saved to the correct folders. Then here we have a new statement. We've got image GIF here, so we're creating a GIF instead of a JPG or instead of a PNG, and here we've got final base.png. So that's the variable that we've passed with a customized base file that's got George's name and it's got the £75 with just the orange keyline. Then we use another variable called frames equals object get contents. Frame is 40, so 40 is the amount of, that is the delay that we are going to get between frames. Yeah, so we basically, I think that's 40 milliseconds that we're going to get between them, between the two different slides. So that's the first slide that's done. We do exactly the same here, but this time we're doing it with the final top PNG variable. So that is the customized version of the GIF template with the orange £75 and with George's name on it. And again, we've got the 40 millisecond delay. So these are the two slides here. Now that we've set them up and we've set up what the delays are going to be, now we encode them together. So we've got $GIF equals new GIFeNcoder, so this is calling that class of PHP. Frames $framed. So this is both, if you like, the holding places for the finished slides, that are the two slides that are going to make up the GIF, followed by the delay, which is 40, whatever that is. That's what I think that's 40 milliseconds. And then we're going to save that down here. So we're actually going to save it in a more traditional way, rather than using an image GIF as we have done here at the top to actually save the PNG files. We're going to do slightly differently. So we're going to use fwrite for fp, which is fopen on save path. Now save path, that is the merged path directory that we've passed through to this function. So that's the one that ends in the merged folder. And we're going to save it as a GIF animation. So these all work with that new class that we've applied and that we've saved in the PHP library. And then we close the file. So that's saved. So what that's done, that's combined both of those two customized templates into one GIF file, one animated GIF file. If you want more information on how the encoder is actually working, the link that I've added below the video on YouTube, which takes you to the location you can download that class from, also has links to a lot of the detailed information that shows the coding and the workings of that PHP class. Okay, so that is how we create the GIF file. So that final fwrite saves it to here, as we've done for George, as we did earlier when we ran the process in code. So now that we've done that, the next thing that we need to do is we need to build the container. So we're going to move on to the next section of the video. Okay, so I've created a new module file. So this is pasmod4 birthdaypromo.php. Now this is based on all of the other containers that we've used for the previous 3 modules. I'm not going to go into this in too much detail because it's very basic HTML, as you'll know from the other containers. I'll just give you a very quick overview. So the first thing obviously we're doing is, if file exists, and it looks for that merged GIF file. So it looks for, have a quick look. So it looks in the merged folder, and it looks for the account number 45112309.gif to see if that exists. If it exists, it will actually populate the variable for this container. Okay. So the container is called container bday. It's a simple, as with all of the others, it's a very simple table HTML, and that's all it's doing is it's putting in an href because it needs to be clickable, and it's using an image src, and the src obviously pointing to that GIF file, and that's it. That is the code. That's all we need for the HTML. If that file doesn't exist, if that GIF file isn't there, then for whatever reason, you know, it's either the case that for some reason in phase 3 personal relationship as a service, for some reason George has not been selected to have his birthday celebrated, or it simply isn't his birthday. In which case that container remains an empty variable, so there'll be nothing to actually place into the retail sales easing. So that is the container. And if I just come here into the newsletter, send newsletter modular.php. So what I have done here, obviously to include that container, I've just added with the other three modules here, I've added the fourth include, which is for pasmod4 birthday promo.php. So that makes sure it just goes back to that file we were just looking at to see if that container needs to exist or not. And then if we scroll down here, here you go. So I want the birthday container to be at the top of the e-zine beneath the store logo. So I've added it directly beneath the top banner. So there's the variable container bday. Obviously, if the file didn't exist and this container is empty, nothing will appear in the e-zine relating to a birthday. If that graphic did exist, that GIF file did exist, then the container was populated. So container bday will contain all of the HTML code to make sure that the birthday graphic appears in that retail sales e-zine. So very simple, and what we've done for all of the other modules. And I'm just going to quickly go back here. Just take another look at that email. There you go. So this was the finished email. Happy birthday, George. Celebrate with up to £75 off men's fashions. Now, this is slightly different because whereas normally this would go through to a sales page, what we now need to do is to get George to the voucher. So this link here, this href link, rather than going through to product pages on the website on the store, this is going to take us through to a landing page which is going to have the voucher on for George, and that's going to be the next part of this video. Okay, so let's take a look at the click-through that we've got for this particular birthday graphic in the retail sales e-zine. Okay, so this here, whereas this would normally go in previous instances for modules and e-zine content to a product page, we don't want it to go to the product page. We want it to go to a landing page where George is going to be able to see what his birthday gift is, that's £75 in the form of a voucher. So this click-through here has a variable attached, which is a variable ACCN, and that has the account number 45112309. When we come to do personal relationship as a service, I'm probably going to want to encrypt that information, but I'm going to leave it as is for now. And that's going to take us through to this landing page here. So this landing page is part of the site. So in the real world store, this would be part of a PHP session, and you will have needed to have logged in using your security credentials to get into the store. So you are the only person, George Bailey is the only person who will be able to see this voucher. It's personalized content, so we've got Happy Birthday George, so we've customized it with that first name, and to celebrate we're giving you up to £75 to spend on men's fashions. The other thing that we've customized in the body copy is the expiry date. Your voucher must be used by date there, and we've put an image of the voucher that we created at the start of this video. So this is the personalized voucher, and this has got his unique promotion codes. This has got his account number, and this has got his valid until date. So this is the one that we created at the start of this video. Now, when he opens this, something else happens. An email is also sent with a copy of this voucher, and we can say here at the bottom, we can say a copy of this voucher has also been emailed to you. So let's just go and take a look at the code just to see how we've achieved this. Okay, so this is the landing page, store birthday index.php. I'm not going to go into too much detail surrounding this in the HTML because it's very, very basic. I'm just going to focus on the customizations and the emailing of a copy of that voucher. So the first thing that we do, and what's key to this, is the variable that we have attached to that click-through. So here we have a new variable, $account equals get acnum. So that was the variable that contains George's account number. And it's using that account number variable that we can then pull off the information that we're going to use to personalize and to email him. So we're joining two tables. We've got the master accounts table and we've got the promotions table. So we're going to select master account first name, master account gender. Again, I'm just future proofing because when we come to do the service in phase 3, we might do slightly different landing page content for women. We also put up master account email. We need the email address because we're going to email a version of this page to George also. Then from promotions, we're taking promotions, so that is your promotion type. We're taking promotions expiry, so that is the expiry date, because we are customizing the body copy with the expiry date on the landing page. And we're taking promotions voucher emailed. Now promotions voucher emailed I'll come on to a little bit later as to what that's for. We're taking these from the tables master account and promotions, where master account equals account number account, so it's only going to pull the information for George, and where promotions.promotion equals birthday. Now this is where we've got the promotion type in the promotion table, and the reason that's quite important is that promotions table is going to be usable for a lot more things. It's not just going to be usable for birthday, so we need to stipulate that. Okay, so let's come down and have a basic look at the HTML. So this is the HTML for the landing page here. All of this. I'm not going to go in detail. I'm just going to maybe show you here, look, in the body copy we have pulled in the first name variable, so it's saying happy birthday George, and we're pulling in, there you go, there's the promo expiry, vouchers must be used by, and that's personalizing it there with the expiry date we've just selected from the database, from the promotions table. Obviously we were also using the JPG that we created for his voucher that we personalized and customized at the beginning of this video. It's all very basic stuff. What we do need to do with this, because we're also emailing this, a copy of this page to George, is we need to create a second version in PHP. So if I come up here, this is a copy of what we just looked at, that HTML, but I've wrapped it into a variable $content. So this is going to become the content of the email. We're going to email it in exactly the same way that we email the retail sales e-zine, using the free PHP mailer class, which comes free from Google. One thing very important to notice here is that we say if there is not, or if it is false, if promo emailed variable is false, as in there's no content in that variable doesn't exist for content, then it will continue to email. If that field is not false, it's true, it has content, and we're pulling that variable up here with promotions voucher emailed, then it won't continue with the email. So we're going to say it's false, there's no content in that field in the promotions table, which is here. There you go, voucher emailed, there's nothing in there. So what it will do, it will follow all of this code here to email, to send that email. But the other thing it does, once it's successfully emailed, it will then run an update. So it will update that field in the promotions table, and it will set voucher emailed equal to Y here. Yeah. So that in the table will change all of these 4 instances to Y. And what that means is that if George does visit that landing page again by clicking on the link in his retail sales e-zine, he won't get a second email, because we'll come here, we'll say if false promo emailed, then continue with sending that email. In this case it's not false, because this case it will be populated with a Y, so it will be true, so it won't follow this code. Yeah, it will not send that email more than once. So that makes sure that George doesn't get confused because he's getting multiple copies of the same email, potentially thinking that he's got several different vouchers to spend at the store, and also filling up his inbox with useless junk. So that's why that variable and that field in the promotions database is really important. If we take a look at the email, so here we go back to the inbox. So this is the email, so it's happy birthday, and it literally is an absolute copy of the landing page that you just looked at, and that's what's been sent to George's inbox. So this is his permanent copy, so he can always look at this if he needs to know what the details are for his promotion. Okay, so that has brought us to the end of this module, module 4. So thanks for watching. I look forward to a module 5.